Good evening. Welcome to another exciting edition of So Into Bourbon. Charlie, we have something special tonight.
I know we say that a lot, but this is really special.
It really is.
Before you, about to be opened and enjoyed, is a 1986 bottle of Old Granddad 114 Lot 13 from National Distillers. Enjoy.
Okay, Charlie, so Old Granddad 114 Lot 13. As you said in the open, bottled in 1986, which is significant because, tell them why.
It is 1 year before the Old Granddad Distilling Company was purchased by its current owner, Jim Beam. So who owned it prior to Jim Beam?
National Distillers.
You may have heard of them.
Yes, you may. And we've talked about this several times on a previous Old Granddad episode, on several previous
Old
bottles
Crow
that we've
episode,
done.
and we'll put links to all of those on there. We're not going to go hugely into the history because it's really not entirely what this episode is about.
Right. What it's really about is finding these old dusties, as they are known. You know, you can pick them up at estate sales, you can buy them online, you can find them. This one we happened to find on an online auction.
Yep.
And we were able to pick it up. And we're super excited about it because Old Granddad 114, as many bourbon drinkers know, is highly sought after today as a really nice budget, affordable bourbon, which is becoming harder and harder to find.
Right. It is, and we have done episodes on Old Granddad. The 114 is one of my favorites. It has been forever because of what it is. It's the original high rye mash bill. Glenn, tell them the mash bill.
So the mash bill is 63% corn, 27% rye, 10% malted barley. Now, do we know that this bottle that was bottled in 1986 is that same mash bill?
No, we do not, because it was undisclosed and we don't know it. And even at this point, if somebody came in and was like, yeah, I know what it is, I don't know if that can be trusted. So we do know what we know. And what we know is Old Granddad is a part of, Old Granddad is Basil Hayden, and Basil Hayden is the original high rye bourbon. So we can assume that this is a high rye mash bill.
If I were a true professional, I might have reached out to someone at Jim Beam, or I don't know. And
I'm sure they would have taken the time for us, but
you never know.
Yeah.
We could have reached out to Jim Beam and asked about the history and find out if they could confirm or deny whether it's the same mash bill or not. But really,
it doesn't matter,
difference does
right? It genuinely doesn't matter, because the point of this episode of number one is we get to drink it, and then number two is you hear a lot of people talk about, well, today's bourbon can't hold a candle to back in the day's bourbon.
Right.
Everything was better. This bourbon that we got today, it stinks. Old bourbon is the best.
Yeah, you hear that a lot. Also, there's some people erroneously have the idea that the longer bourbon sits in a bottle, the better it gets, like wine.
No.
That's not true.
Typically the opposite.
Most bourbon drinkers know that once it's bottled, it stops aging.
100%.
But there are some things about older dusty bourbons that might make them a little different. Maybe the age of the trees that made up the barrels.
The quality of the water and the age of the bourbon when it was dumped. And we'll get into all of that once we start the drinking. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set these up here. These are our control, if you will. This is original, current, right now, Old Granddad.
Set that up there next to the old one. And speaking of differences, look at the difference in color of those two bottles.
They're what I would deem a substantial. Would you say substantial?
I would say very substantial.
There is a substantial. Now is the time where there is only one thing left to do.
Drink.
But it's time to. Do you want to pour and let this rest while we drink the first one?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. So we're gonna get this one out of the way, and now it's time. The time you've been waiting for.
And here's where you have to cross your fingers. If you've never bought an old bottle or never opened an older bottle before, oh, I didn't even get to mention it.
Yeah.
The cork is
The
pretty
cork
much
has
obliterated.
ceased to be. We'll do a detail.
Show them a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do it. It just came right off the top.
And so this bottle, I have a feeling, sat on its side for a while. If you look at the tin over here, show them that. Let me show them the tin again. So if you look at the tin, the artwork runs horizontal, right? Well, the bourbon sits in the tin vertically. So if someone had this sitting around their home for display, it could have been sitting on its side for many years. So no surprise at all.
None.
That the cork disintegrated on us. So what we're gonna do
is pause.
Take a little break. We're gonna work on this and see if we can get this cork out of here. And we'll be back.
Don't go away.
All right, so cork's in the bottle. We're gonna filter it out here. Taking tainted coffee flavor. No, this is clean, hasn't been used in a long time. Never quite sure. So now, we get rid of this. We'll get every drop, and then we'll find. We're gonna put this bottle back in here so they don't run. Yeah. Okay, so we're back. So we have decanted, and as evidence and proof that we actually did, here's the empty bottle. You can see the cork in it.
And we'll take some detailed photos.
Yeah.
The cork is just gross.
Yeah.
You know, it's black on the bottom. So, but that's why you shouldn't store your bourbon on its side.
Absolutely. So, Old Dusty is in this bottle here.
Oh, I forgot to mention, we are also joined tonight by a live studio audience.
So enthusiastic.
He is. That's who this pour is for. All right. So I'm just gonna, can I just set that there?
Sit it
Let's
there.
do that. I'm just gonna set this out of the way because that makes me
Don't spill it.
Then not spill it. So,
And by the way, we did filter it.
we did filter it.
No,
It is
no
filtered.
cork.
So first thing we're going for is the
Old
current
Granddad.
Jim Beam Old Granddad 114.
And we don't, there's no age statement on,
No age
on
statement,
this, right?
No age statement.
So we have no idea if the age, I'm certain the older one is probably a little more aged than the newer one, right?
Judging by the color.
Yeah,
So,
judging by the color.
so this one on the nose, and we've done this episode before, kind of that, you get some sweet and rye spice, that kind of classic high rye,
Yeah.
you know, almost noses like a rye.
A little bit of cinnamon.
Yeah, it's nice. Cheers
Cheers.
to Old Granddad. Still doing it after all these years. Still a kick-ass pour.
Yeah, just like I remembered.
I mean, it's a little
A little spicy.
yeah, a little spicy, but just enough. Enough that you want to drink another drink of it. Not enough that you're like, whoa, I need to take a second. It's proofed great.
It is, and this is just a bourbon drinker's bourbon.
Yeah, a rye drinker's bourbon. I mean, it checks a lot of boxes. The reason people love it is because when you can find it, it's affordable. It's usually sub $30. I think Costco here recently in Kentucky had it for $16.99. Cost a small riot. But it's great because you don't feel any sort of way about it. We talk about this all the time. Holds up in cocktails. You can drink it neat. You can drink it over ice. You can share it with your friends and you don't feel any sort of way. It's a great pour.
Great pour. Let's get on.
That's enough of that crap.
Well,
This is what it's all about, right?
part of what I'm excited about is not just trying this, but then comparing the two
Yeah.
just to see
100%.
how close they are, how far apart they are.
So we've talked about the color. This is like dark cherry wood. Like it's just,
You nailed it, almost like a cough syrup color.
I mean, if it was any more dark, it's almost red.
If it were a beer, it would be like a Sam Adams or what's that red ale? Killian's, yeah. Beautiful color.
Puts a nice ring around the glass.
Can we nose now?
Sweet, holy. Hi, I'm Charlie. And I'm somewhat at a loss for words.
Here we go again, and it's got cola, that cola, cherry cola nose
Just
to it.
sweet fruit, dried fruit, candied. no alcohol.
It's very muted, yeah.
It has that kind of like a funk to it that a lot of Dusties have.
Really?
But there is so much, like, I'm almost getting...
It's really syrupy looking.
Yeah. Like it is the side of the glass. It is a somewhat, you mentioned muted. I get the opposite. I get it's almost like an overwhelming, like the more you go back to it, there's other...
Can we taste?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Old Granddad. Okay. The immediate thing that hits you is the difference in the mouthfeel. It has a viscosity to it that the other one just frankly doesn't. It has a weight and a mass to it.
It does, and I'm going to just jump in here real quick. When you were pouring it, you could see that. The way it just poured differently.
It has the spicy rye, but it's very soft and delicate. It is not as peppery as the current release.
Not at all, and it's got, I'm getting a real caramel note that I didn't get on the first one. Are you picking up on that? I'm getting... It's definitely not as spicy at all.
There is a depth of flavor
ding
in this glass that it just... I'm really at a loss for words. You get, like, the nose follows through. Let me get back on point. The nose follows through to the palate.
So much dark fruit.
Dark fruit, dried fruit, and it just sits on your tongue in a way that it doesn't stop. I still taste it, and not just like, I'm not talking aftertaste. I'm not talking finish. I'm talking I still taste the bourbon that I drank a minute ago. It's...
And one of your favorite phrases is, it tickles your tongue.
Yeah.
This definitely tickles the tongue.
It does.
It's still dancing around there.
It just dances, it just cascades from start to finish. And the flavor is like, it's hard to describe, and people are watching this like they're stuttering like idiots. Yeah, you drink this and be concise. The flavor just rolls. Like, it's not like what I typically get flavor-wise in bourbon, where you kind of have like, front palate, mid palate, finish. This is just like
kind of all over the place.
It just socks you right in your face, and you're like, enjoy this. It truly unbelievable. Truly unbelievable.
That's a great pour, that's for sure. I'm trying to equate it to something.
100%.
From today's world.
Well, the thing that, and we hope that you go back and you watch some of our other episodes. There's a great episode we did on Old Granddad, the current releases that are out there and why they're great. And then we also, one of the awesome episodes that we did was the Old Crow Chessman, which is another National Distillers product. The Old Crow Chessman, which is widely regarded as one of the greatest bourbons of all time, is 86 proof. This is 114 proof. So just that cranked up to 10. But this is really unbelievable. On my third drink now, I'm getting so much like oak character.
Yeah, there's tons of oak character there.
But not, it's a different oak character than I'm used to.
It's not an off-putting bitterness, but
no,
it's just there enough. Like,
it almost tastes to me like why people do French oak now. That kind of softer, maybe more vanilla in that oak. That's what this tastes like. And the only thing that can be contributed to is the age of the barrels when this product was distilled and barreled.
Yeah, who knows? They could be 150-year-old oak, 200-year-old.
Older. I mean, it could be. And the bourbon that we're drinking, So one of the things about National Distillers and this time frame is in the 70s and 80s, bourbon wasn't a great seller. And a lot of bourbon companies were struggling. Hence why you sell a brand like Old Granddad. The reason, people just weren't buying it for a variety of reasons. And we gone into that in other episodes. So when they were dumping this product, yes, it doesn't have an age statement, that's true. But there is no earthly reason to believe that this doesn't have 8, 10, 12, or even older product in there, because at that stage in the game, when they know they're gonna sell, they're just dumping.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if there's not at least 12-year-old in this.
I agree with you. It just, and the nose, just after it's sitting and opening up.
Now I'm getting some apple.
Apple and just, there's like almost a baking, like sugar in it.
Yeah, like a burnt sugar or powdered, not powdered sugar, brown sugar. Yeah. Man, it's beautiful.
So,
not quite as much cinnamon on this as the current day, which I'm going to go back to that just for a second here.
Good luck with that. So if you're watching this at home and you're thinking, Glenn, Charlie, I love you guys, but why do you do this to us? Why do you find a bottle, a unicorn bottle, and drink it in front of us and tell us it's so great? I'll tell you why. Because there are still bottles like this out there. Case in point, there's one sitting in front of you right now. We're drinking it. So these bottles aren't cheap. That's true. But if you're really into bourbon, like we are, and you really want to have an experience, a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle in the secondary market is going to set you back a minimum of $1,500 to $2,000.
Definitely.
This is better than any Pappy Van Winkle I've ever had.
100%. And we didn't pay that for it.
We did not pay that for it. So,
and you never know, you could get lucky too.
Yeah. Watch your auction sites, watch your estate sales. Talk to people that used to collect bourbon.
Check your grandfather's attic.
Check your grandpa's attic and liquor closet. Don't steal it, but ask him. But the other part of this is these bottles are designed to be drank and enjoyed. And there is something genuinely special about having a bottle like this and sharing it with friends and family and getting to drink essentially in a time machine.
So Charlie, when I saw this bottle available, when I called you, did either one of us have any thoughts of buying this bottle and not drinking it?
No.
We got it at a price. We could have bought it and flipped it and made some money on it, or held
sat on
it.
Yep, because it did come in the kit and everything else. But if you do that, that's fine. And I understand that there is a bourbon investment aspect to this, and we are also guilty of that with certain bottles. But the more we do this channel and the more we bring you guys content, the more excited we are to drink this cool stuff. Not keep it, not hoard it, because this is what it's about. It's about drinking it and enjoying it and tasting something that, in all reality, we may never get to taste again.
You may not.
You'll never forget the day you drank Old Granddad 114 from 1986, lot 13.
And then hopefully this will put a little charge in you to go out and find something just as special.
Yeah.
And share it with your friends.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be, National Distillers from the 60s or the 80s. There's Pre-Fire Heaven Hill. There's a lot of older bourbons that are long discontinued that are still out there that you can get for a couple $100 and have a genuinely special bottle where you can show your friends and family that are into bourbon and be like, this bottle doesn't exist anymore.
And to jump on that a little bit too, to kind of take up for those guys who do go out and buy bottles and hide them away. That's great, because if people didn't do that,
we wouldn't have this.
20, 30, 50 years ago, we wouldn't have this to drink. So there's nothing wrong with doing that.
Yeah.
But
judgment-free zone here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But pop those things every once in a while and enjoy them.
Sure.
Do you want to rate that?
I mean, I don't know. Should we?
I'm asking you, sweetheart.
Is there a that's tough.
9.5. It's not that tough. It's a 9.5. It's a 9.5. There's It's a 9.5 because I don't know if anything is ever perfect. You're not going to achieve enlightenment. But when you're talking about bourbon and what you want, it's proofy, it's delicious, it's sippable, it has a depth of flavor that is just unheard of. It's perfect on the nose. It's as close to a perfect bottle of bourbon as I've ever had.
Go back to the new one for a second. Just do it.
Gosh.
And I want you to tell me the first thought that comes to your head. While you're doing that, I'm going to ask our studio audience for a rating.
Hadn't even drank it yet. 9.
A 9 from the studio audience. Can't argue with it. First thought that comes to your head.
I don't know, I almost can't taste it. It's like overly sweet and
to me, it tastes really hot compared to the Dusty.
That's funny, I don't get a lot of hot. It's like I'm mouth deaf from drinking that. Like I don't get a lot. Actually what I get on this now drinking it is a lot of sweet corn.
Really?
Which is really unusual. In this, it's like 63% corn. And I get corn on the nose, yeah. But that's why this is fun, to drink something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything else to say.
I don't have anything else either. This is a great pour. I'm glad we did it.
100%.
Great experience. I hope you're able to do it with your friends. I know these typically aren't our most popular episodes,
right? But it's we feel that this is important. Number one, because we want to drink it. And number two, because it's kind of spreading the word out there that these bottles are there and they're meant to be enjoyed. Pool together with a couple of friends and split and share this bottle cost and enjoy it and drink it. And let us know in the comments if you've drank a Dusty bottle of bourbon and what you thought about it.
Absolutely. Charlie, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Let's do it.
Why don't you tell them what they need to do?
Number one thing is you need to like and subscribe. Click that like and subscribe button on the YouTubes.
Check us out on Facebook, So in the Bourbon, Instagram, So in the Bourbon, Bourbon.
So in the Bourbon.
TikTok, Whiskey Realtor. And don't forget, keep your wallets loose.
And your bungholes tight. Good night, everyone.
Peace out.
I think...
Can we stick 3 straws in it and drink it like one of those drinks?
I think 4 human people, once we taste this, I think we can drink it, and then if there's anything left, we'll get something, so.
Excuse me.
Knew that was coming because I touched it.
Yep.
So excited I can't even feel my arms. And we're back.
Action.